All right, so today we're diving into a really dense, really fascinating philosophical parable. It's called the Gospel of Odium Fati, and it's all about this intense encounter between a very peaceful hermit and a very not peaceful sapphire prophet. What we're about to see is a head-on collision between two completely opposite ways of looking at the universe. And we're going to start with this line right here, because honestly, this is the whole thing in a nutshell. It's such a gut punch of a statement. It takes this idea of peace, of contentment, and just completely reframes it as a prison. So let's unpack how we get to this point. So, first up, before all the chaos, we really need to get a feel for the world as it is, at least through the eyes of our first character, the hermit. He's living in what he sees as this place of perfect, peaceful solitude.
So, picture this. The setting, well, it's not exactly a walk in the park. It's described as a forest of rust and bone dust under a bruised purple sky. It sounds awful, right? But here's the thing. The hermit isn't just surviving here. He is genuinely happy, singing hymns to his God. In his mind, this desolate place is a sanctuary.
And his whole philosophy, his whole way of being, can be boiled down to this one concept: amor fati. It literally means love of one's fate. He doesn't just tolerate his reality, he loves it. The rust, the solitude, all of it. He sees it as a perfect gift, part of a grand, divine plan.
And this is him basically laying out his entire case for existence to a visitor who just showed up. This is his starting point: absolute peace, total joy, and a complete acceptance of the world as this beautiful creation from a loving God.
Okay, so we've established the peace. We understand the hermit's world. Now, get ready for it to be completely and utterly shattered. The arrival of the sapphire prophet isn't just a disturbance. It is a sledgehammer to the very foundations of the hermit's reality.
And just listen to this description of the visitor. This is not some gentle, wandering guru. He moves like a shard of broken glass, something sharp, something that doesn't fit. His voice is like ice cracking over an oven, a sound of pure friction and contradiction. This guy is here to cause problems.
And boom, here it is. The prophet immediately takes everything the hermit holds sacred and just flips it on its head. That joy of loving the world? Nope, that's just kissing the hand of a blind artisan. That sacred gift of solitude? You guessed it, that's the cage.
The prophet then goes a step further. He rebrands the hermit's god. He says you're not worshiping a great architect, you're worshiping Sakles, the fool. And his version of the creation story is, well, it's not exactly flattering. He says this creator wasn't acting out of love, but out of a moment of supreme vanity, mistaking his own shadow for something divine.
And this line, wow. This is just devastating. It completely dehumanizes the relationship between the creator and the created. You're not a beloved child. You're a tool. You're just paint being used for some cosmic, vain experiment.
So the prophet's diagnosis is absolutely brutal. He tells the hermit that this peaceful life he loves so much isn't really life at all. It's just a slow decay. He calls him a ghost and says his peace is nothing more than the rust of the spirit. In this twisted world, the prophet claims, being a saint makes you a ghost. It's only by becoming a sinner that you can actually start to live.
Okay, so the old faith has been torn down, stomped on, and thrown out. But the prophet isn't just here to destroy. He's here to build something new and radical in its place. He's here to preach his gospel of hate.
And here you have it, the absolute polar opposite of the hermit's belief. We're going from amor fati, the love of fate, to odium fati, the hatred of fate. And this isn't just about, being grumpy or disagreeing with your lot in life. This is a call for an active, violent, and fierce rejection of the entire system.
And he gives the hermit a new set of commandments. It's a philosophy of pure action and rebellion. Love nothing, refuse to submit, defy expectations. And the last one, hate your limits so much that you literally break the machine of reality itself. So you might be asking yourself, okay, but what does that even look like? What do you become if you actually follow these rules and reject everything? It's a fair question.
Well, the prophet has a name for this ideal being, the out-man. And the goal is not to become a better man, a perfected man. The goal is to become an out-man, a person who generates so much friction, who becomes so sinful in the eyes of this reality that the gears of the world literally cannot contain them anymore.
Now, to get a better handle on this, it's super helpful to compare it to Nietzsche's famous idea of the Übermensch, or the overman. The overman masters the world to create new values for it. The outman couldn't care less about improving this world. The Outman's only purpose is to become such a massive, irreconcilable problem that the whole machine just breaks down.
So, how do you do it? How do you become this Outman? The path is something called the righteous sin. It sounds like a contradiction, I know, but the idea is to inflict a kind of profound, meaningful damage on yourself and your destiny, to create a scar so deep and jagged that the cosmic order can't heal it or ignore it.
And all of this brings us to the absolutely stunning conclusion of this parable. The hermit, who's probably just trembling and completely overwhelmed at this point, asks the final million-dollar question. Why? What's the reward for all this struggle, for all this pain?
And the prophet's answer is just chilling. There's no reward, no heaven, no treasure, no paradise. The only thing you get is an escape hatch, a door out of this cosmic playground, a door that leads to the true void, the one thing the creator, Sakalos, is absolutely terrified of: pure silence.
And then comes the final instruction. And it's not about being reverent. It's not about asking for permission. It is the final command in a lifetime of total defiance.
That's it. Kick it down. Not a quiet exit, but one last explosive act of rebellion. It is the ultimate expression of Odium Fati, a violent rejection of the cage until the very, very end. You know, this parable doesn't hand you any easy answers. It's dark, it's complicated, but it leaves us with this huge question to chew on. If you believe you're in a cage, what does true freedom look like? Is the answer to love the bars, or is it to hate them with every fiber of your being? And what does it really mean to reject the reality you've been given?